Left of the box. Hello, No Justice. And Raiders, nice to see you. That caught me out of the side of the eye right when I was about to start something. You all should listen to my stream earlier. I'm incorporating more of UK stuff. So welcome to all you pawn jumpers coming over here. Because Canadian Parliament and UK Parliament, very similar in what we're going through right now. And I'll be honest with y'all. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous of what you're doing over there in the UK. Like, granted, overall, we have a better living standard here right now, but that's only temporarily with enough of what Mark Carney is doing. But I'm a little jealous. The new parties that you're trying to put together, a new kind of like, you're against Labour, and I'm guessing Labour is somewhere in between what the NDP and the Liberals were here. But you're upset with them because they did a total 180 with what they said they were going to do, and once they got in the office, complete opposite. Kind of feeling that with Mark Carney right now. Just saying, Mark Carney really bad for that. But you're able to put together a party, and I was talking a bit about this when I was on this space on Wednesday, a YouTube channel all of you should check out, where it's a collaborative of lefty YouTubers that the goal is to eventually make a 24/7 YouTube channel with a whole bunch of different content. But I was mentioning it because the ability for people in the UK to network and organize is far superior than what can happen here in Canada. And there are reasons for that. I'll have to pull up maps. So here's the big problem, I would say, with Canada trying to organize the same way that you guys are in the UK. You see, here is Canada. And this is how big the UK is compared to Canada. This blob here just takes up a tiny portion, or just a portion of Ontario. And in this blob here, over across the pond, you guys have roughly 64 million people. All of this here, 40 million. It is very difficult to have a protest or a rally where like 1 million people show up when they would literally have to travel for days and days and days by vehicle in order to get to them, or have to have the expense of a plane ticket or a train ticket. And we're not just talking about an overnight stay, because like I said, it can take days. I can be driving for 48 hours and still be in Ontario. It's just, like, that's the thing. And so it's easier to organize when you're more condensed like that. And, to have a larger showing of people to any protest or rally or event or, organizational meeting or anything of that sort. So much easier to do that when you have that many people kind of more mixed together, versus how am I supposed to reach somebody in Moose Jaw or Thunder Bay or Grand Prairie and say, hey, come on over here to organize, when they would literally have to take work off for a week and pay for the expenses to get here. And then it'd be like, okay, now let's all head up to Ottawa. Oh, from my place? Right, that's a 6-hour drive. It's just in good traffic. So tank of gas. Oh, and then we'd want to use the 407 to avoid the 401, because the 401 is just a nightmare. So then, that's like our only toll highway. So then I'd have to pay extra money for that as well. And then the parking in Ottawa is a pain in the ass. So then there's that. Oh, but we could take the train, but then that's like 12 hours to get there. So there's that. Like, it's just. So I'm a little jealous of your ability to be able to actually organize in a way that we just simply can't here. And I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. From your ally across the pond. Help us do the same here. I'm open to suggestions on how to get the refugees from the NDP and Greens and Liberals to maybe start organizing and making a new party here, a viable party. Huh? A little help? I'm raising this flag in solidarity. We need more cross-border solidarity. And when I say that, I don't just mean between us and the United States. I mean like every border. So we need cross-pond solidarity. And I am very much open to suggestions on how to do that over here with the massive obstacle that we have, what I just showed you, because we do have a lot of the same issues going on when it comes to our governments, and we understand each other. We're connected. You and us, we're connected. We can see eye to eye. We get it. We get it. We have a parliamentary system here. First past the post. we understand how somebody can get 40% of the vote and 100% of the power. We get it. So we need to connect. We have this in common. We can work together. We can do this. We can make a system here in Canada that's actually good and would actually represent a lot of what people want. Because if you strip away all the partisan titles and what party said what, you know, most of the people in this country would agree on the vast majority of things. We all want the same things, but there's just so much partisan politics involved with it that it's ridiculous. And plus, you know, we're really vulnerable to the right-wing organization and rise here because we do border the United States, and it's not just cross-border solidarity. They also send money and they network and they travel together and then they go visit and they make their camps together and all that sort of stuff. We get a lot of that. So yeah, I'm open to suggestions on how to do that here. Please and thank you, and I'm sorry. So you gotta add that. Be Canadian. You gotta do the please, thank you. Sorry. Oh. Sorry about that, eh? The lefty Canadian radical was just pointing this out. Coming soon to Canada. Don't think for a second they won't do that here, especially decreasing immigration. They don't care about us. They will do this and more to make sure our wages are suppressed by increasing the labor supply, even from within. And she was quote tweeting, the Labour government has announced a review to the state pension age. So much for this spiteful and deceitful government claiming to be supportive of working people. And Labour to review, yeah, state pension age. Canadians, take stock. Everything we're seeing happening over there right now will happen here. So we're kind of in the middle. Like all the horrible stuff that you see happening in the state with fascism and whatnot, it can happen up here too. And then all the horrible stuff that you're seeing with austerity and neoliberalism in the UK, it can happen here. We're kind of in the middle of all of it. But also keep in mind that Mark Carney is buddies with a lot of these Labour folks. Like he was in the UK. He was president of the Bank of whatever for a while. He's friends with these people. He agrees with them. Everything you see happening over there will happen here under Mark Carney. So pay close attention to what you see Labour doing, because Mark Carney is just, you know, there's just a couple months lag because of when he got elected. But also, talking about UK and Canada relations, Canada should follow UK's move to lowering the voter age to 16, says Senator. And this is from CP24. Now that the British government has vowed to lower its voting age to 16 by the next general election, one Canadian senator says it's past time for Canada to do the same. The UK announced last week that it would lower its voting age from 18 to 16 in a bid to strengthen British democracy and restore trust in politics. Senator Malraux McFarden said the issue has been her top parliamentary priority since she joined the Red Chamber. She said lowering the voting age to 16 would be a good for democracy and that the only argument against it are based on stereotypes. McFarden said decisions being made in Canada will now affect younger generations and the extending voting rights to younger people is logical and about fairness. She added that about a third of 16-year-olds in Canada have some form of employment and are already taxpayers. 16-year-old Jaden Braves, the organization he leads, Young Politicians of Canada, want to see the federal voting age lowered to 16. And just, yeah, more about that. Let's see. Britain's voting age last fell in 1969 when UK became the first major democracies to lower it from 21 to 18. Many other countries quickly followed suit. Canada lowered it from voting age to 18 in 1970. So this is something that, Canada tends to follow in the footsteps of, and this would be a good thing. I'm in support of this. Several countries already have a voting age of 16, including Austria, Brazil, and Ecuador. Scotland and Wales allow 16 and 17-year-olds to vote in local and regional elections. So Wigginton said that while he doesn't expect Canada to immediately adopt the voting age of 16, having the UK as an example will definitely push the issue into the spotlight and increase the chances of it happening in the future. What I see most likely is that one or more provinces will adopt lower voting age first, and the federal government may eventually follow suit. Same thing when it came to equality in marriage. Was a few of the provinces allowed same-sex marriages, and then eventually it became federal. And the same thing would probably happen here. I'm in support of this. Damn it, there was a thought in my head. Oh, right. So this is something that I say about like the Americans and Canadians, and this is also true of like the UK and Canada as well. Of when one progressive area wins, it's incentive for the other countries to also follow suit. It's encouraging. If one country can do it, then we can do it as well. And like right now, it's easier, not that it's easy, but it's easier for the Americans to push for universal health care if we have it. Because they can say, just look over at the border there. Look at their medication. It's so much cheaper than ours. Look at their universal health care and blah, 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 blah. And as long as they have us to point to, then they're more likely to be able to go through with it. But if we lose our universal health care, which we are, then the fight in the United States becomes impossible. So when one country succeeds with progressive victories, other countries are more likely to succeed, which is why it's important that we support these no matter which country they're in and help boost them and stuff, because yeah, I think the voting age should be lowered to 16. Why not? It's just, people afraid of ruining the status quo. Anyway,